Good morning. I'm Bernard Del Rey, CEO and co-founder of Capital Preferences, and on behalf of my entire team and Eliza Johnson, who's with me today, I want to thank you for this honor. We at Capital Preferences are promising the industry something very special. We're promising that we will help you know your clients twice as well in half the time. And we're doing that through a breakthrough that comes from decision science, game theory, and econometrics. Together with my co-founder, Shahar Kareev, who's chair of the economics department at Berkeley, the work you'll see today is based on national studies in the US and the Netherlands and substantial publications in leading academic journals. So we use gamification and decision science to conduct behavioral profiling on consumers. This is the information that underpins the recommendations that exist throughout all of consumer financial services, and importantly, helps clients feel comfortable and guided through their journey. Now, this is what it looks like: a suite of simple decision games that allow a client to show us, not tell us, what their preferences are. Where are your risk preferences? Are they in your head, in your gut, in your mind? These are very difficult things to express, and the tools that we're using today look like this. Just at first glance, you can tell that this tool is not ready for the digital age. It's a risk profiling survey or questionnaire. There's many things that are wrong with this besides that clients find it annoying. And when you look beneath the surface, you see some very substantial flaws. The most important being that there's no mathematical theory that underpins how to write a survey. We each could create one and argue forever who has a better survey. And the reason they're not successful is they also provide no statistical confidence in the results that they produce. So when you're done with this exercise with a client, you have no confidence interval around the results you've actually produced. They provide very little compliance safeguards as a result, and more importantly, there's very low customer satisfaction and very little ongoing engagement using these types of tools. So it's not surprising that one of the major problem statements was that client profiling in consumer financial services and financial advice is broken. So if we have the right tools, what are the things we actually want to know about clients? We want to know how they make the fundamental trade-offs in their life, how they make their goal priority decisions, what their money patience is, how they trade off their time preferences, and also what their risk profile is, but not just risk tolerance, which we use very vaguely in the industry, their risk tolerance, their loss aversion, and their ambiguity aversion. And we want to wrap all of this data with compliance standards that will allow us to move into the digital age, which is the level of coherence that they have while making these decisions, and ultimately the consistency of their decisions. So I'm going to walk you through a few goal profiling screens, and then hopefully Eliza will show us the risk profiling demonstration. So a client would come in and select from amongst their goals in an easy-to-use app. We're actually going to stay on R3 if we can. And then we're going to place the client in something that we call goal wars. It's not enough to know someone's priorities. I need to put them in conflict so I can understand the absolute and relative prioritization of those goals. Something being important isn't enough to provide someone financial advice. After they tell us what their goals are, we then create trade-offs, which restrict the money that they could allocate to these goals under a restrictive situation, and from that we recover the elasticity of demand. This is simply what it would look like. The client would swipe up and down the arrow, or up and down the line, allocating money between their goals, and the results would be something that we call their life priorities, the rank order importance of each of their goals, along with the statistical confidence interval around those results, so we know how sure they are. Now, looking in the domain of risk, we're going to jump over to the live demo that Eliza has. This is a risk profiling tool. In this game, Eliza is going to be moving the dot up and down the line, allocating money between two companies, Company A on the vertical axis and Company B on the horizontal axis. Make believe there are two startups in this room. One of these startups will succeed and one will fail with equal probability. So the question Eliza has to answer is, how will she allocate her money? If she's entirely risk adverse, she'd pick the lock, the place where no matter whether Company A or Company B was successful, she'd get her money right back. She's taking no risk and gets no reward. If instead she wanted to express that she has very high risk tolerance, she'd pick this point. This is the point where she's taking the most risk, but she has the possibility to lose everything that she came to the table with. Now, if we move on back to the slides, I'll show you what this results in. This results in a very detailed risk profile, something she could never share with us, and a fully end-to-end process of goal prioritization through risk preferences. Now, there's big benefits that you'll see here, and we'd love to tell you more. Please see us at our booth when you're